Hi. Uh, I'll just jump into the topic on my mind this morning, which isn't really that big a deal, but it it annoys me and it emphasizes things that we have talked about. So, for a while now, months, I would say, a few months, there's been a running text thread among my siblings. So it started, I think, with Danny's heart procedure, and like anytime the main things that will like there'll be like a conversation about that. Especially Thomas, who's a nurse, will weigh in. Robert will make morbid jokes, and the rest of us will be like, I hope you're okay, or whatever. And then it'll die down, and then like somewhere down the road, um, Jacqueline will humble brag about her kids, and then it'll be a talk about that. Or Carolyn will talk about her latest injury and, whatever. And it's usually like, it's not usually like, hey, how is everybody doing? It's always like something to spark the conversation. And I usually throw in a word. And, Danny being sick, it's usually like, okay, thinking of you, like, hope that everything turns out okay. So when I say something like that, I don't expect a flood of replies or reaction. But sometimes I will say something funny. And it is funny. You know I'm funny. So, and I gets ignored. I mean, really gets ignored. It's like I didn't say it. And um, today, somehow, it was like a jumble of different things. And what I showed you was like CJ's going to apprentice at Lockheed Martin, and he's smarter than his parents. But that evolved. I don't even know what started it today. I can't remember. But it got into that her husband Clint has been offered a position in either Las Vegas or Seattle, and she prefers Seattle because she likes the Pacific Northwest. She went to school at Willamette. She's a very close friend of hers lives in Seattle. So like that's her preference. And she's always like whenever this comes up, she reiterates that she doesn't want her daughters to grow up to be strippers and hookers and whatever. Like that's the running joke. But she probably really feels that way. That it's a sleazy place to live. Is it? I don't know. And Thomas was like, we're thinking of retiring there. Like it's really cheap to get a house, and you're not that far from the ocean to the west, and you're not that far from like the Grand Canyon and beautiful Utah to the south, and it seems like a good location. Blah, blah. But anyway, that has nothing to do with this. But he was kind of counteracting her. It's so sleazy and dangerous with like, it's kind of cool, cheap housing, and you can get to a lot of places. So why am I talking? And then Danny pops in with like, "Hey guys, I have to have another procedure on Monday. They don't know what's wrong. I'm really scared because I had been feeling fine, and that's the scariest thing to me. Like, what are they find?" So he's like kind of freaking out, and Thomas is like reassuring him and just saying like, "Don't stress. Like, this is a routine procedure. Like, don't freak out." And Danny continued to go on about like, I just want you to know that if I die, I want all of you to sign a do not resuscitate order. And I just, he's going on kind of melodramatically. And Thomas is like, well, if it is the end, it'll be a quick and painless death. And then Robert says something shitty, like snotty, funny. This has nothing to do with me though. But it's like there was talk about real estate, where to live. Then Danny popped in with his health fears. And then Thomas asks to no one in particular, is Seattle expensive to live, real estate and stuff? So I don't think anyone specifically asked me, but I chime in and I'm like, well, I don't know about Seattle, but Portland is going up, up, up. They say a lot of LA money is coming in, and that's going on. And, it's turning more hippie than yuppie, but either way, it's still a beautiful place. So I don't know. I really don't know how it compares to Seattle. Someone must have asked me that. I can't remember how it compares. So I did my piece about Portland. Oh, when I said something about Portland is going up, 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 I put in parentheses, we're nervous because we're looking at moving back. Yeah. So, conversation twists and turns for a while more. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, Robert says to Jacqueline, so Jack, when are you looking to move to Seattle? And she has some answer. I don't know yet. We haven't made the decision. But I was like, didn't you hear that I'm moving back to Portland? Like, that's a pretty big deal, too. That's a big deal. It's just as big a deal as Jacqueline moving to Seattle. It is. Yeah, hers is for an official job relocation, and ours is for more personal reasons. But it's a major move. Hers is a major move. Mine is a major move. She has kids. I have a kid. Pissed me off. Why couldn't he have been like, so when are you two looking at moving? And it's like I don't exist. Or I'm not, I exist, but I'm not really worthy of contemplation or attention, notice, invisible. A ghost. I'm a ghost in my family. On the other hand, what the fuck ever? Do I want their attention? Not really. I always feel reluctant to. Always feel reluctant to jump into this text thread. In the past, I've only done it to wish Danny well. But for some reason, because today they were talking about Seattle and moving to Seattle, I was like, I had to mention Portland. We're moving to Portland. And I was saying to Jacqueline, I was like, hey, it's only 3 hours away. Plus you have Rebecca, in Seattle, living up there. Because this is when Jacqueline was like, yeah, we're not sure, Vegas or Seattle. So I was like, I'll be there and your best friend will be there. I'll be close and your best friend will be there. So anyway, this is not that big a deal, but I was like, it's so typical. Nobody is going to acknowledge that I dropped a bomb. I mean, it was a pretty big deal that I moved to New York. They've all seen my house and my life here. It's real to them. So for me to move away from this life, this house that they know that I have, I would think there'd be some reaction. Carol Ann did not chime in this. Who knows? I don't know what's going on. I mean, anything could just whatever. And then that brings me to Carol Ann. The last text from her was like, if you don't talk to me, I feel devastated and I'm having my wrist surgery, me. And not even a word of we already talked about this, but not even a word of I know you don't want to talk to me, but can you please explain why? Is it something I did? Are you upset about your birthday? Please tell me. I want to make it better if I can. Um, and then you're just you're not talking to me is painful. And then I just wanted you to know I'm having wrist surgery. That's the way it should have been, but she left out the crucial part. And I don't know. I haven't gotten into anxiety level yet, but I don't know when it will. Like when I just don't have a plan. Like, and I'm gonna feel too awkward to initiate contact when I am feeling less. I don't know when I feel ready. Like, which I don't know what would make me feel ready. I think what would make me feel ready is feeling uncomfortable that's gone on too long. So I don't know when that'll be. That could be this week. That could be in a month. I don't know. And is she going to pursue me? Is she going to pursue Paul? I'm a little bit worried. I've told him to just play the stupid man husband game. I feel like I don't know. I think a lot of men would be like that. And he's known for being a little distant, a little withdrawn. I mean, she knows that. So it's believable that he would kind of be clueless. But how long can he ride that? And will she might have her pride and not want to pry into via him. I mean, I could see that. She made her attempt and he kind of squirreled out of it and squirmed out of it, and that's that. I don't know what she's capable of. I do I expect either utter icy silence from her in return or melodramatics. Trying to make it about Beast, that I'm mad about Beast, that Beast planned a party, which Beast didn't do, but that it's like more Beast Allison rivalry. She won't accept blame or even participation in the problem, and it's annoying, and terribly, terribly annoying. Yeah, but I mean, like the whole thing, my therapist was like, she needs you more than you need her. Like, we really seriously will go weeks without talking or texting, and then something funny will come up, or a need will come up, or some specific thing that would interest us both will come up, and one of us will call or text the other, and it's friendly, but it's not like we're totally codependent. Like, I can't live without you, talking to each other, and so I'm kind of feeling like she might play the game with me. Like, you're not talking to me, then I'm not talking to you. Especially if she confides in Beast. Oh, Beast. God knows what Beast will encourage. I have no idea, but I can't believe that it would be friendly toward me, or like she should really make up. Maybe she's upset that you never told her about our party until the last second. So maybe you should. I mean, she could maybe be like reasonable or not. I don't know. 14 minutes. Gotta go. Miss you. Love you. Bye bye.